You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Of course, he's a superstar quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles. The other night, they lost another game to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, what makes headlines about that is Drew Lock was playing quarterback and not Geno Smith, and I don't care what anybody in the media wants to say. I think there's a clear line between Geno Smith and Drew Lock. I think Geno is clearly the better quarterback. I also think he's a great comeback story in general, from bust to legit starting NFL quarterback. Well, the Eagles are in a slide. Luckily for them, they got a schedule coming up that's going to be very comfortable, all right, to try to get their asses straightened out. Now, the other day, Jalen Hurts came out and said, hey, we need more commitment from the team, and I don't think that set very well with some people in the Eagles organization, and more specifically, the bosses in the organization didn't seem to care. Now, look, I thought this Eagles team was going to have issues anyway because they lost both of their coordinators, Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen. That's what happens when you make it to the Super Bowl, and a lot of times that's why you see teams take a step back. All right, I know they got off to a 10-1 start, but then they ran into a buzzsaw of a schedule, and the Eagles aren't doing so well. Just 3 weeks ago, Jalen Hurts was in the running for MVP. He was a top 5 guy. I went over to FanDuel this morning. He's out. All right, he's out. He's not even on there anymore. And his turnovers, interception, and fumbles together, pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. Now, you guys know I like Jalen Hurts. I'm a big fan. He's got a very damn good work ethic. His daddy's a football coach, and he just comes in and he puts in the time. But evidently the fact that he called out some folks the other day, and he spoke in generalities, but he said he needed to see more commitment out of people on their jobs when it comes. And I've got no issues with that, frankly. You're the quarterback. You're the leader. Get out there. Well, a report has come out now, and evidently some people didn't like that, and now he's being exposed as somebody that maybe isn't jiving with his teammates in the way that some people, some leaders in the organization, maybe some decision makers, feel like he should. Now, no doubt, if you watch his press conferences and such, for the most part, Jalen Hurts is kind of quiet. He is. So this has come out. I've also got an update on Big Dom Sandro because Big Dom's out. He lost his appeal, and he's a goner. Eagles bosses want Jalen Hurts to open up and be more outgoing and feel like the quarterback isolates himself as pressure grows on star quarterback, Daily Wire, come on, amid Philadelphia's bad form. Well, let's just take a look at something, folks. I mean, they're in the playoffs right now. There's some teams that I think that are also in that could whip them if they're not careful. I think the Rams could beat them. I think the Buccaneers, if Baker keeps his turnovers down, can beat them. I think the Lions can beat them. I think the Seahawks can make things interesting for them if they get in. I do. Now, they've got a schedule. In theory, they can win 3 more games. I mean, they can win out. But they might be the most questionable, turn into the most questionable 13-4 team we've ever seen going into the playoffs. So, here we go. The Eagles have gone from near unbeatable to losing 3 games over the last 3 weeks, losses to the Niners and Cowboys by the combined 43 points were tough to swallow. Monday night's upset defeat at the hands of the Seahawks might have stung the worst of the 3. And the Eagles looking for answers to turn things around. Plenty of fingers will be pointed at the team's star quarterback, Jalen Hurts. According to Jeff McClain of the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Eagles want to see Hurts isolate himself less and be more of a vocal leader. Quote, Team sources say the Eagles want their franchise quarterback to open up a little more in the locker room. Players like and respect Hurts. The team doesn't worry about him off the field. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much got his shit together. I think everybody realizes that. The Eagles want him to be more authentic to himself, but they also need him to not isolate himself as much. When a more outward leadership style is necessary, especially when the going gets tough. It comes after Hurts questioned how committed his Philadelphia teammates are. I've been talking about execution all year, he said in a post-game interview, being on the same page, everyone being on the same page, and we didn't execute. I don't think we're all committed enough. Just got to turn it around. It's a challenge that we have to embrace. Just continue to see it through. Yikes. That's not good. Hurts is unquestioned starter for the Eagles, and the team has already clinched a playoff spot. They're 10-4 overall and will jockey for postseason positioning. Yeah, like I said, they've got the kind of schedule that's going to make their record look a lot healthier than maybe they really are going into the postseason. Like I said, he's no longer in the MVP conversation at all. It's Purdy, it's Jackson, it's Allen, it's Dak Prescott, McCaffrey, and Tua is in there as well. But Jalen Hurts was 4th and 5th just about a month ago. And now he's not. Now he's out. Now he's gone. So this is interesting that this report about how his leadership style may not be working out so well, and the fact that he's too cut off. The interesting part about this is it's coming from Eagles bosses. Well, who said this? Who said this? Nick Sirianni? Howie Roseman? Jeffrey Lurie, the owner? That's pretty interesting. And somebody that you thought was extremely entrenched in Philadelphia, there may be some chinks in the armor there. So I find that interesting. You got to wonder, is that going to galvanize the team? Are they going to come together? I mean, PFT has got him right now as the 10th best quarterback right here in all of the NFL through this past week. And yeah, the Eagles are absolutely getting in the playoffs, but there's some things going on there. They've got some drama at all the wrong times. Now, to Big Dom. As we all know, Big Dom and Dre Greenlaw of the Niners got into it. This is one of the most beloved guys in for not only the Eagles, but all of Philadelphia sports. Of course, the Eagles security guy. He's also known as sort of a senior advisor to the general manager, Howie Roseman. This guy's been there like 25 years. And we've all seen Big Dom. We all saw that. And it took on a life of its own in the news cycle. The week after that altercation happened, well, he was appealing the idea that he was going to be banished from the sideline for the rest of the year. Well, Rob Mattey of the AP, the NFL has denied the appeal of the punishment imposed on Eagles security chief Dom DeSandro for the sideline altercation December 3rd during the game between the Niners and Eagles. The league fined the Eagles $100,000 and banned DeSandro from the sideline for the balance of the season. DeSandro has missed 2 games. He'll miss 3 more. The incident prompted the league to issue another memo regarding the rules applicable to non-player personnel on the sidelines. A September memo addressed the same topic. So that's interesting. There was another little tidbit to this. The Eagles paid the fine because the team was fined for DeSandro's role in the altercation. Often, teams pay fines for coaches, staffers, and players depending on the infraction. Often, fines are reduced through appeals This wasn't. So that's kind of interesting that it went through the process and they still said, no, you're out for the regular season. You're not going to be out there. Now, this guy knows every single thing that happens on that field. I mean, they were talking about him on the broadcast before anything ever happened involving the guy. That Greg Olson and Kevin Burkhardt had consulted with Big Dom the day before about where's a good place to go eat. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck was talking. This guy is leading. No, after this happened, Andy Reid come out and Chris Long in a podcast and were like, yeah, Big Dom is like the most beloved person in the Eagles organization. This guy plays a monster role with the Eagles. He does. And I don't know if it's so much the head of security as it is senior advisor to the general manager. I mean, that's like, are you involved in player personnel and nobody knows it? I mean, what exactly is your full role with the Eagles? I find that interesting. So, anyway, nonetheless, he's out. He's not coming back this year. Now, playoffs. It looks like he'll be allowed back on the sideline. You know? So, I don't know. It's crazy that this went the way it did. But I said when it happened, I doubt he was having to pay for any meals in Philadelphia, but he certainly will never buy another meal in Philadelphia again. He is like a hero up there in that city right now after that altercation with Dre Greenlaw. So, Jalen Hurts, team bosses, concerned about his leadership style. They better be careful. This team may have a full-blown meltdown. Some could say they already are. I mean, right at the wrong time. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.